There is this silly misconception that parties like the EFF, ANC, MK and others have created in the minds of many black South Africans. The idea that because white people once colonized Africa means that all white people do not want to see black people succeed. The idea that because white people once used black people as slaves means that all white people are racist. And the idea that because there was apartheid against black people in South Africa means that all white people in South Africa still want to go back to apartheid. I'm Katla Moagi. I welcome you to Citizen Concerned, where we remind you to beware of the comrades. These kinds of lies are typically in the EFF. They call white people racist based on lies. If a white person disagrees with them or says they are corrupt or calls them out on anything, they say that white person is racist. They hate white people. They are the real racists. The government of South Africa has been responsible for injuring citizens of South Africa due to negligence in hospitals. We have covered a lot of these issues right here on this channel. Please check those videos out if you missed them. Poor facilities, recklessness, shortage of skilled staff, shortages of medicines and ambulances has led to permanent injury of some poor babies and adults. The health department ends up being sued and paying billions using our tax money. That money could have bought beds, hospital beds, but it didn't. It could have hired more doctors, but it didn't. It is spent on people who have been unnecessarily injured by the poor performance of our hospitals.
In April 2023, we met Avile Molose, a young boy living with cerebral palsy as a result of birth injuries at a state hospital. His mother was struggling financially and Avile was clearly suffering.
Who is the evil party in these injuries? Is it the racist people? The ones who want to bring back apartheid? The ones who don't want to see black people prosper? Well, these hospitals are under black management. The health minister is black. The government is majority black. And the president is black. They injure blacks, whites, Indians, and coloreds. White people had nothing to do with the maiming or murder of our people in that instance. It's black people in charge. Are we still to blame racism? No. What do we blame? Negligence, incompetence, poor management, greed, all thriving through corruption. There is no racism involved there. No white person involved there. They have us as black people focused on racism. Our thoughts about people and situations are framed by racism. We walk, think, see, hear, speak racism, to the point where even when race has nothing to do with the situation, we still see race. To the point where even when we are being hurt, oppressed, abused, deprived of opportunities by black people, we blame racism.
Why do you think this generation of politicians are so corrupt? Is it because they're not used to money?
No. It is because they are being corrupted by white people.
Is it?
Yes.
These politicians have really done a great job in instilling this lie in the heads and hearts of many.
Black people are hated everywhere. You go to America, you go to Britain, you go to Europe, everywhere. How can we be hated all over and still be hated at home?
To the point that they don't even need to defend their nonsense. You defend it for them through the great scapegoat of racism. That child and his mother won a case against the health department, and as compensation for the injury due to negligence, they were awarded 15 million rands. Guess what? They never saw half of that 15 million rands. They never even saw a quarter of that 15 million rands. They only got 50,000 rand of that money. That's not even 1%. That's equivalent to 0.3% of the compensation they were awarded. This was due to the greed, corruption, and selfishness of the lawyer that represented them. Not even 1% though. Yeah, ne? That lawyer has gotta be a white person, right? It's gotta be these greedy, evil white people.
Thanks to attorney Zuko Nonxuba, a successful medical negligence claim was brought against the Department of Health. Avile's mother, Millicent, should have received a 15 million rand payout, but she only got a fraction of that.
He was black like them, and still he stole their compensation money from them. Look at their condition. I mean, even if evil, greed, corruption, and selfishness has gotten hold of your heart, could you not at least give them just 1 million rand of their 15 million rand? No. He took 99.7% of the money. These were the deeds of a lawyer named Zuko Nonxuba. Zuko's actions show that evil is not motivated by race. What is it motivated by? Selfishness, hatred, corruption, greed. It's the evil that is in all of our hearts. Some allow the evil to thrive and take over their decision-making and lives, while some submit that evil to the goodness of God, our Creator. Some people have no fear of anyone. They don't fear the law. They don't fear the people they work for. They don't fear God even. Those are people like the ANC. Those are people like Zuko the scavenger. Fortunately, Zuko Nonxuba was reported to South Africa's very own Legal Practice Council. Did they make sure that this poor boy and his mother would finally get their money back, be happy and at peace? No, they took their time. They must be racist. I think they must be white, right?
Complaints about Nonxuba's practices go back as far as 2013, and yet the Legal Practice Council, the statutory body that oversees all legal practitioners, took years to investigate and take action, an allegation they disputed when interviewed by us last year.
It's important to note that any Nonxuba matter was brought to our attention on the 2nd of August 2021. That is the first time that we had any impression that there could be a problem.
What the LPC was now saying contradicted its own report to the High Court in March 2020, which highlighted how Nonxuba was mismanaging clients' funds and noted other accounting irregularities. The LPC called Mr. Reddy, one of its auditors, and he confirmed he did write the report. You knew by 2019 that something was amiss here. In 2018, you had the SIU. Let's go back. In 2018, you had the SIU complaint. You had the Eastern Cape Department of Health complaint. You had the Western Cape Department of Health complaint. And then you've got your own report saying that he's overcharging. Are you telling me that all of this is not enough for you to act?
Your own report that you showed me.
Yeah, it's your report. Let's get it right.
No.
I would like to know a simple answer. Why there was no disciplinary hearing? That's a simple, you said that it was supposed to. Thank you. That's the honest truth.
They're supposed to be there to protect civilians from dirty, evil lawyers like Zuko the scavenger. But nah, why would they? Why should they? So where is Ubuntu? This love and mercy for the black brother and sister that you make it seem as though all black people have for each other. Where is it here? This was a poor family suffering because of the incompetence or negligence of a black-led government hospital, suffering because of the greed of a black lawyer, suffering because of the lack of action of a black regulating body that is supposed to save us from hyenas masquerading as lawyers. All the while in our heads we are blind to these sad facts, blinded by this battle between black and white.
So one nigga can go 50,000.
But Avile is not the only victim.
In this situation, as is the case in many situations like these, we have black people in all positions of power. They get their salaries funded by your tax and my tax. They lose some of our tax money to pay these claims. Why? Because there are no repercussions to those who acted negligently. Nurses and doctors who are careless and negligent should not be allowed to work on anyone ever again. But that's not the case with our current government. What is the case? Were you negligent? Oh, don't worry about it. We'll take some millions from the taxpayers' money to pay the victim of your negligence. Instead of buying new beds, instead of hiring more competent people, instead of buying more ambulances. To stop this carelessness and nonchalant attitude, negligence should result in dismissals, jail time, loss of licenses. Inaction should result in job losses. But no, they keep going. After years, the scavenger hyena lawyer finally gets his license suspended. But still, is there no one who will stand up for the sake of these poor black people to allow them to get their money, that is their 15 million rand that they won? Turns out there is someone willing to fight for this poor family. I'm sure it's a black knight in shining armor, a black company, or some black lawyer somewhere full of Ubuntu, right?
Cameron Hatchett is part of a team of legal heavyweights that stepped up to help Avile and Nonxuba's other victims.
These are the most vulnerable members of society, and it truly is a heartbreaking story that they have been taken advantage of in this way.
It's a racist white people's company that took up the case pro bono, that is, free of charge. Why? Is it because they are racist? They have to be benefiting something, somewhere, somehow, right? We know these white people, they are evil. They would never do anything for free. Right? Right? Wrong. They fought and won the case. Now it's for the relevant parties to make sure that money is released to the poor families. Based on the odds that we have witnessed here, I hope that money is not in the hands of some black-run entity. Oh wait. It's the same tortoise entity, that legal practice council again, the ones who took their time to take action on the hyena lawyer Zuko Nonxuba. I really hope and pray that this time around they will do the necessary at the required pace. In case it isn't clear, my point is all of us have the potential to be evil. Evil has no color. Black people can be corrupt. White people too can be corrupt. Black people can be racist just as white people can be racist. This silly lie that people like the EFF, ANC and MK are telling and have created in the hearts and minds of black South Africans is serving the politicians and their cause, and it is blocking you from living in love and peace with that white brother or sister. Don't listen to the lies anymore. Evil has no color. Ask around. I cannot tell you how many times I've heard from strangers and friends telling me about how white people have helped them get out of a tough spot. We're talking about life-changing instances of assistance. I've witnessed how in many companies where I've tried to do business, I encounter black people who simply won't let me win a contract. A white managing director or CEO sees the value in what I'm offering, and to follow the chain of command, he introduces me to his black employees to facilitate and close a deal. They are simply employees in the company. They don't lose any money when I get money, and yet they would rather I don't get the contract. In some instances, I just assume that, okay, maybe they want someone else to get the contract, maybe a friend or a family, who knows? I've witnessed it, and I'm sure you have too, whereby a white man or woman who is a CEO or managing director will tell me, send the quote, but the low-ranking black manager ignores my email, ignores my quote, and simply won't let me win. Our own people exist in these positions, keeping their fellow black people down. These are not cleaners or security guards. We're talking about high-ranking, well-paid black people who simply don't want to see other black people get ahead. In government, it's even worse. A lot of the time we hear about how a contractor has to pay a bribe in order to receive money for work he did. Maybe he built an RDP house or supplied material to the hospital. There's always that one hyena who says, I'm the one who's responsible for payments. Pay me and I will release the money. Otherwise, otlaipon. This is one of the reasons why you'll see that black communities do not progress. We don't do for each other what white people do for each other and for others. We don't understand the concept of collaboration and assisting each other. Yep, I said it. It's not a nice thing to say, but it's true and it needs to be said so that we can confront it and change it. Let this be a year where we change this nonsense. This carte blanche case is not alone. There are many similar instances that have similar or worse consequences. They simply don't get as much public attention, that's all. Zuko has done this to many other victims of medical negligence. Evil white people exist, but not all white people are evil. Racist white people exist, but not all white people are racist. Evil black people exist, but not all black people are evil. Racist black people exist like Malema, but not all black people are racist. Due to people like Julius Malema, Ace Magashule, Jacob Zuma, and many others, black people have been becoming more and more racist towards white people, simply because they are black people and everyone acts like it's impossible to be racist when you are black. Don't believe that lie. All humans can be evil. All humans can be racist. When voting in May, don't look at color. Look at the party's history. Look at their policies. Look at their track record. Stay away from EFF, ANC, Umkhonto with corruption, and anything that has former ANC leaders. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, like, and share. I'm Katlego and this is Citizen Concerned. Until next time, beware of the comrades.